Thank you so much, Jen. That was just a wonderful cut across the whole of the world, was capturing some of the things that are happening. Now, I'm going to introduce another amazing woman, Sarah Stone. Sarah is working with the Planetary Health Alliance, and Sarah is a Planetary Health Education Fellow there. And she's done extraordinary work, picking up what you were saying, Jen, just bringing together those educational resources. Sarah also is the Director of Education and Training for Global Health SIM, which is an innovative open access resource for global health teaching. And I want to just mention one thing. Sarah was honoured for her outstanding support and leadership in CDC's response to the Ebola epidemic in West Africa by the National Centre for Emerging and Zoonotic Infectious Diseases. So congratulations, Sarah, for that. And we look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Liz. Let's see, where's this? Right. So Jen has spoken a little bit about the amazing progress that we're seeing institutions make in this emerging field of planetary health. And this is a really foundational step for the field and for educating the next generation of scholars. So I'm going to move into kind of the modern tools and platforms that we have at our disposal to give you all a sense of where this is going. So we're now in an unprecedented era of global connectivity. We're seeing the landscape of traditional brick-and-mortar education shift a little bit. As of January 2017, over 3.5 billion people were accessing the internet, which is over half of the global population. And yes, this access is different across different regions, so you see...
So sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, I'll move down. I have a good idea. Okay. So... Okay, good. Can you hear me better now? Okay, great. Sorry about that. So yes, these numbers vary across regions, and you're seeing greater access in North America and Western Europe. But the really amazing thing here is the exponential pace of change that we're seeing. So in 2016 alone, an additional 10% of these people got online, which means over 350 million more people are accessing the internet in the last year. And in 2017, nearly 75% of these people are accessing via their smartphones. So now when you're in school or when you have a question, you can find the answers literally at your fingertips. Many of you may remember your teachers in primary school saying you had to memorize the multiplication times tables because you wouldn't always have a calculator with you. But this is no longer the case. So learning is happening a little differently with these tech tools. And while traditional education is becoming more expensive and more competitive, online access and the advent of Creative Commons licensing, which allows for work to be freely shared and cited, means that the knowledge that was once imparted to a limited few is now accessible to anybody with an internet connection. And this is by no means a replacement for the in-person learning, but it does provide a space for institutions to move into and for startups of all kinds to leverage to provide this education access to millions of people who would not otherwise have access to it. And as planetary health emerges, we're well poised to move right into this space. So we're seeing institutions like the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and the University of Edinburgh offering remote courses and degrees at the postgraduate level in planetary health-related topics. And you can enroll in these courses from anywhere in the world as long as you have internet. So the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine calls these distance learning courses and degrees, and they offer them in topics like demography and health and environmental epidemiology. And the University of Edinburgh offers a part-time online degree called a Global Challenges degree that takes a multidisciplinary approach to understanding health, environment, and development-related challenges. And students register for these courses from across the globe, and they have a wide variety of disciplinary backgrounds, and many of them are concurrently working in NGOs and other agencies right at this intersection of health and environment and development-related challenges. And we're also seeing accredited master's level courses beginning to being offered online for free from online-only institutions like NextGenU on topics like environmental health and conflict and health. And the people taking these courses are students and practitioners from high-income countries who are looking for some supplemental learning, as well as students and practitioners from low- and middle-income countries who are looking for training in subjects that they would not otherwise have access to. And we're seeing a boom in the massive open online courses, or MOOCs, rather than full degrees, which are offered in hundreds of languages, and they're tackling much of the content within the planetary health umbrella, like nutrition and health, and sustainable development and health. And about a third of the students who enroll in some of these courses are from low and middle income countries, but that number is growing as global access to the internet grows. So with so many options for hosting online courses, it provides this really exciting space that planetary health can expand into. And we're looking forward to seeing some of these courses being titled explicitly as planetary health in the coming months and years. And further innovations are now stepping on the scene to take this online content and make it accessible offline or in low bandwidth settings. So groups like Calibri have developed mechanisms so you can share content from device to device regardless of internet connectivity. And right at the beginning, I mentioned that about 75% of all internet users, about 2.7 billion people, are accessing via their smartphones. But an additional 2.2 billion people have basic mobile phones, which nearly doubles the population who has access to this education. So in addition to the content for students, educators around the world now have this unprecedented opportunity to share their teaching resources and to see those of others to reduce the duplication of efforts. The University of Plymouth in the UK has developed and is launching, actually on Tuesday, May 2nd, the Nurses Toolkit, which is an online collection of resources specifically for nurses and other health professionals so they can embed content into their courses that explores these connections between climate change, sustainability, and health. And as Jen briefly mentioned, we at the Planetary Health Alliance are working to harness this global community of educators as well, and working to build this emerging field together. So we've developed an online platform. It's a website for a curated collection of educational resources targeted at educators at the undergraduate level working to teach planetary health. Our beta site is now live through our website, which is very exciting. And this platform provides free open source access to the multimodal content like podcasts, TED Talks, and classroom activities, anything you can think of that would support an educator in teaching planetary health, as well as sample syllabi so you can see how others are working to teach this around the world. And we're looking to develop case studies now, looking at events like episodes of haze in Southeast Asia, or agricultural innovation in dam building and the burden of disease of schistosomiasis in West Africa. And these resources can all be used to supplement an existing syllabus or to infuse an existing course with planetary health content, or they can be coupled together to create a planetary health course from scratch. So the process of collecting and collating these existing teaching resources serves as a key component in this building of a community that you've heard mentioned a few times this morning. And it's our hope that this platform will engage you all, but also the global community of educators, and they will actively contribute their own teaching materials to this site to build out this global good for planetary health education. And in addition, as the beta site is tried and tested, we're also planning to expand the content to the postgraduate level and are thinking about how this can fit into medical school and nursing school education, as well as how we can branch out into other professional schools, like schools of architecture, to work with professors for urban planning and design. And by engaging with and supporting the sharing of resources, we're working to leverage the existing breadth and depth of knowledge around planetary health that already exists. And really importantly, we see the creation of this educational content for planetary health to be a global effort. It's not a top-down approach. And the development of this platform really highlights that. It's a platform for global contributions. It's not a teaching directive. And to further educational engagement from across the world, the Planetary Health Alliance is also entering into partnership with the World Federation of Academic Institutions for Global Health and working to develop a plan to launch pilot sites in low and middle income countries so that they can work to develop the content and the courses at a local level to ensure that the content is really being driven by those who will be using it. So to achieve what we are striving to achieve in planetary health and in planetary health education specifically, we need to utilize all of these innovations and collaborate with all of these players. The accessibility that they provide is core in addressing the cross-cutting approaches and building the skills we need to address planetary health challenges. The accessibility is enabling this local to global and global to local transfer of knowledge. And it's this accessibility that is pushing planetary health education to break down disciplinary and geographic silos. Thank you.